It's a random joke about why I didn't upload for like 3 weeks. So welcome back everyone. Yep, that is of course right. Today I'm of course taking a look at Persona 5 Royal, the enhanced re-release of Persona 5 released in 2020, originally on PlayStation 5 before it got re-released in 2022 on pretty much every current console. So, how good is this game? Obviously, the opinion on this series is kind of divisive at times, but for me, Persona 5 is arguably the best entry in the series. So I'll get into why with a quick synopsis of the story. So basically, the game very much starts off as, well, Ren gets arrested. Yeah, we're calling him Ren in this video, and yeah, the game starts off with Sai's palace. And of course, after he gets arrested and, of course, has to confess to a lot of stuff, we, of course, find out that that's actually not really how everything started, but there's actually a lot of stuff before that. So basically, in the beginning of the game, Ren and a few other students named Ryuji, On, and of course, Mishima, of course, kind of having to deal with a teacher known as Kamoshida who's abusing his power, and of course, at risk of expulsion, well, everyone excluding On, they of course have to steal Kamoshida's treasure and force him to confess to his crimes. This, of course, goes well, but that well doesn't really last forever, as, well, with the Phantom Thieves in the news, there's going to be a whole heap of trouble just waiting for them. Of course, other issues emerge very quickly as, they of course have to target another guy known as Madarame, who is of course accused of plagiarizing his students' artwork and just all sorts of other things. This of course is how they meet Yusuke. And of course, so far the Phantom Thieves during this time, of course, Ren, Ryuji, On, Yusuke, and of course Morgana. And of course, after Madarame confesses, the group gets blackmailed by Makoto, Sei's younger sister. She, of course, kind of wants them to deal with this other guy known as Kaneshiro. But of course, it hits the fan, and Makoto is kind of blackmailed into quite a bit, along with the Phantom Thieves, because thinking clearly is not their strong suit at this moment. And of course, it goes well. They force Kaneshiro to confess for his crimes, and then there's the next arc. Once again, they're being blackmailed, but this time by Futaba, or Alibaba. Futaba is an interesting case as she wants her heart stolen so she can forget what happened with her mother. Her mother died when she was young, and Futaba was pretty much blamed for that, which is a really heartbreaking moment in the game, and honestly, really just messed up. And of course, it's thanks to Phantom Thieves that Futaba is kind of able to really be more outgoing and just kind of, you know, well, be a lot more happy, which is a very cheerful part of the game. Then, of course, next to me, of course, meet Haru. Haru's basically being, she's basically being forced into a relationship she doesn't want to and is going to be forced to marry her fiance. And, of course, the Thieves intervene, and Haru's dad basically dies on national TV or something. Yeah, it's a really dark moment. And, of course, obviously, it's at this point where the game is getting pretty dark. The principal, I think, also dies during this time too. And of course, we also get to spend quite a bit of time with a few other characters named Akachi and Kasumi. Now, of course, obviously, spoilers for the rest of the game, so if you don't want spoilers for the rest of this game, I just advise skipping the rest of this video, as it's going to be heavily into spoilers. So this is your final warning. So, as for spoilers, pretty much, Kasumi, she's been hanging out around Ren for quite a bit of the story, and of course, it eventually gets found out that she has a persona of her own. There's this kind of mysterious palace thing being built or something. That, of course, is much important later. And of course, in the meantime, Akachi joins the team, and their plan is to steal Sayu's heart. Of course, Akachi wants the Phantom Thieves to disband after this, and of course, you think everything goes well. Well, I mean, you kind of already know that it hits the fan tremendously after this. So basically, Ren is, of course, well, arrested and killed by Akachi. Except that's not what happened. So Ren kind of. Okay, so basically, they set up a trap for Akachi. Akachi believes he killed the real Ren, but no, he killed a cognitive form of him, as I guess they were in the metaverse, and Akashi believed that was the real world. Kind of something like that. It's just honestly really confusing. So basically, Joker fakes his death, and they kind of start targeting a guy known as Shido, who's planning to run as the Prime Minister. All kind of goes well. They kind of kick the crap out of Akachi again, and Akachi apparently dies in this part of the game. And of course, Shooter is forced to confess to his crimes, except no one seems to really care. I mean, it's just kind of like the real world. Okay, jokes aside, yeah, they have to steal the heart of society to pretty much kind of just change everything and kind of restore peace to the world. Except that's a lot more difficult than it sounds because, oh, there's this thing called the Elderbath, and he's evil, and the world's going to end because it's a Persona game. And it happens in like every Persona game. I mean, you have next one to annihilate all life. Um, whatever the giant floating eyeball thing was in Persona 4 and Izanami, and so basically, I mean, by the sixth game in the series, you kind of know what to expect. So they, of course, have to fight a god, and it does not go very well, but then it goes very well when they're able to defeat him. And that's the end of Vanilla Persona, excluding Kasumi because she's not in the vanilla release. Also, plenty of like stuff has been changed, and I'm never going to review that version of 5 because it sucked. So of course we get to the third semester, which stuff is odd. First of all, Morgana's a human. Second of all, Vitava's mom is alive. And yeah, plenty of other stuff. So basically, it gets found out that Maruki, a character introduced a lot earlier in the game, turns out he also has the power of Persona 2 and wants to create an ideal world. This ideal world is pretty much just, making everything better for everyone. So, case in point, Morgana wants to be human. Well, Morgana's wish is granted. Futaba wants, happy family, so her mom's back. And so on and so on. And that's kind of where we can get one of a few endings. Obviously, we can agree to accept his reality, which I'll probably go into another video on the endings of this game, but plenty of other people have talked about that. So, you of course have to make the choice to either accept Maruki's reality or, of course, fight him. Honestly, fighting him is one of the coolest fights in the game. And of course, accepting his reality is just honestly kind of sad. I don't know. I mean, I'll probably get more into that in the future, but pretty much, depending on what you do, the game has quite a few endings. So the question is, how good was Persona 5? Well, it was a good game. It was the first Persona game that I've actually completed. It was one of my first platinums, and there's a lot of special memories I have of this game. Even though I kind of have been straying away from the Persona fandom in recent times, Persona 5 will still always be one of the best games I've ever played, and personally I'm looking forward to what Atlus does next with the series. And of course, With that, I also plan to cover Persona 3 Reload and eventually Strikers in the future, so stay tuned for those ones, and goodbye. I'll probably have a second part to this video soon, maybe, so stay tuned for that one, or just stay tuned to whatever gets uploaded next. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day.